we look like.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host for this morning. It's another Thursday. Aunt Sam Chase is my co-host, and thank you for getting up extra special early, even though you do get up early, but at least you're not driving at this point in time, usually. Sidney Liang, Lowell City Councilor, is coming in around the 7 o'clock time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what if Sidney brings the budget
Budget.
for Lowell,
We always like to see
and then we
Sydney.
can ask him all kinds of other questions. So it was in the low 50s this morning in Chelmsford.
53 at my place.
Seems to be fairly clear out there.
Mhm.
Yesterday was a very nice mild day, which is kind of nice to have a few mild
But
days.
they say it'll get up to 90 by the end of the day. That's what the man said this
I
morning.
don't like it hot. That's why I don't have I don't go south
You
if I
got
don't
your
have to.
you got your ACs in?
Oh yeah, they're
Okay,
in.
good.
And then Glenn bought another one for the other house, so he'll put that in at some point. I have no idea when. And then they've been working up there, so we'll see how that goes too. So anyway, other than that,
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you like the play?
it's so funny.
Yeah.
So what I want to make sure, right up front, we tell people we don't have any monitor here. We don't have, it's not a scripted show. We don't have anybody putting little comments in on a monitor for us to say or do or change or anything. We usually have John behind the screen or on the screen telling us to move on. And the opinions are our own. They could be somebody else's, but they are our own, and they're not reflective of anything going on in the communities that you see at the bottom of your screen.
Have you guys noticed newscasters are disappearing?
Yes.
And they have these kids on that are like 14 years old with a microphone. And here's Chili Brain in Brockton. He's going to talk about the dogs. And they're
You
like,
know what? And they make more sense than the adults do.
what happened to the other people?
I have no idea.
And
But
it's
what
less
happened
and
on
less.
60 Minutes to get rid of the other guy? What did he do? Did you read that?
Yes. I'll tell you what. I mean, of course, he's being hailed as some hero, but I went through all the documents. The guy was insubordinate. I don't care if your boss is an idiot. You can't talk to your boss and call him an idiot. You can't do that, okay?
Well, you can, and now
Yeah.
you have a result. It's a cause and effect.
He was fired for cause, rank insubordination, okay? I don't care what the guy's political persuasion is. You just can't do it. You know what? I had a sign for many years in my office, okay? And it was a joke, okay, because I wasn't a dictator with my employees. But I had a sign, and it said, "Workplace rules. Rule 1, the boss is always right. Rule 2, when the boss is wrong, refer to Rule 1." Okay? So, and everyone got a big kick out. But, I mean, I didn't manage that way, but I thought it was important. I did always let my employees know that I would always listen and that my mind could be changed, and it often was, because after all, these are the folks that are doing the jobs every day. But in the end, I would make the final decision. That's all, okay? You can't, if you're going to work for somebody, you can't work against them. If you disagree violently with the philosophy, then you should resign and get another job, okay? That's how you handle that. You don't.
Well, I think that goes
you
with
don't-
an awful lot of relationships.
Yeah.
But there also is a certain amount of honesty depending upon what your relationship is, and that goes into friendships and marriage and politics
Sure.
and everything else. So when you have to have a certain amount of respect for the other individual. Of course, if the other individual is an idiot, you can always leave your job if you have another one to go to. And the same thing goes for a marriage. If you're married to somebody
Well,
really
what do they say?
stupid.
One out of every 2 marriages in the United States ends in divorce. I mean, that's quite a
I don't know.
quite a
So what is the
sobering.
source of that?
I forget, but I've that's fairly consistent. I've read that in several different areas. It's 1 out of 2 ends in divorce. And one thing I've noticed with the younger people today, in the old days, I think we all understood that you weren't going to get along with the person. I don't care how much you love them, you're not going to get along with them 100%. You can't. But you try to put stuff in perspective, okay? I mean, there are real issues, and then there's
Other
garbage
issues.
right? that really, and you can't just throw in the towel when the first little thing goes wrong. You've got to.
Well, it depends. Sometimes it's not the first little thing. Sometimes people are
It
married,
builds.
3 to 10 years, and they're going after a certain period of time. One person just doesn't change, or what the expectations are. That's another thing, is people have expectations of other people, and unless you express what those expectations are, the other person is going to fail, generally speaking. But I mean, I
Yep,
went
that's
into
right.
marriage knowing that divorce was an option. I've been married 51 years.
Oh,
I mean,
how old were you when you got married?
23.
All right, that's young.
Well, it wasn't young then.
Back then, that was probably
51
average.
years ago, that was
Right,
kind
right.
of like an older thing. I had a
Yeah.
lot of my friends were already married
Yeah.
right out of college or before.
But I think getting married before 25 is young. That's just my opinion.
Well, in the people that I knew, that was not old, because even my mother got
Oh,
married
no.
at
I
26.
think in 2026, you're right, Sam?
Yeah.
But in the 1970s, nope.
Oh yeah, no, people got married much younger.
And people
back then.
also, individuals, would stay in a marriage even if it was abusive, because they didn't know how to get out of it.
Especially if children were involved.
Well, it depends if the kids were the ones being abused. So I don't know today. Usually, the cause of divorce today is irreconcilable differences, and it depends on the state, and it depends on how much information that you have.
I think most states today have what they call no-fault divorce, but Massachusetts didn't. We were one of the last states to get it.
So even if adultery is present, they usually just go for irreconcilable differences because
Evelyn, it's alcohol abuse and lack of
Money.
money.
Money's a problem. Yeah.
This adultery business, nah. The big cause is money and booze.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, no, I understand that, but I'm saying that if adultery was the initial cause, as a result of what you just said, because there's a lot of other factors in there, that usually people will just go for irreconcilable differences because it makes it easier, because now you have to drag other people into court and you have to prove that. It's easier
Well,
to go in the other direction.
Adults nowadays have had enough partners in their life that there's not much difference. So adultery's gone out the window because they've already
Well, they don't view
fooled
it as,
around with
I-
6 to 16 to
I think that's
36
right.
people.
I think that's right. I mean, the fidelity isn't as much of a issue as it. I mean, it's important to me, all right, but I'm 79. To John's point, this is old school, but the younger people look at it differently today.
Well, now what's your body count? And they give you the answer. Body count means how many people you've had sex with.
Well, oh God.
Well,
What do they say? TMI? Too much
Well,
information.
to you, to other people, it's a question they ask on the first date.
Well,
I have no idea. I haven't dated for 53 years, so.
well, that's good because you've been married for 51 of them.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
As I had told my husband at any point, if perchance God decides to take you home, there will not be another one, because I'm not going to.
Not going through this again.
Well, no, it isn't that. It has nothing. It's a lot of it is finances.
Yep.
I want to be my own person. I don't want to be somebody else or have somebody else come in and then try to run my life. Okay. I mean, I live with a person that doesn't try to run my life every moment of the day. Or tries a certain amount of control indirectly, but that doesn't always work.
I got enough trouble running my own life without trying to run somebody else's.
Well, yeah, but not everybody's like that.
Ugh.
And then you never know today, like what John was saying, was the number of partners. You don't know whether there's a certain amount of lying. Trust is to be earned. It's not freely given.
That's true.
There's,
Well, Sam, you were a boss.
Oh, yeah.
Did people tell you a nice story when you asked them for an explanation? Did they make up a nice fairy tale?
Initially, they did. If they did it more than once or twice, they got fired. because when I hired somebody,
It's the way of the world.
when I hired somebody, I told every candidate two things. First of all, honesty is paramount. If I catch you lying, you're history. You're gone, okay? That was number one. And number two, I'm not perfect. Part of your job is when my coat is on fire, you have to come and tell me. And you can't be intimidated or afraid, because I make mistakes, and you're on the team, and part of your job is to prevent the team from making mistakes.
Sam,
So-
your fan club.
Yeah, the boss is the boss. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean,
Mr. Chase is absolutely correct. The boss is the boss.
and the boss has the responsibility. People, sometimes employees don't grasp that. I mean, it's okay for them to sit there and grouse and complain, but at the end of the day, your boss is going to be held responsible for what you do as an employee. That's the way it works in business.
Usually, but
Doesn't work that way in government, but that's the way
But
it works in business.
But I have been
Yeah.
listening to a small group of individuals that are in my life, not just my husband. And I have been listening to the interactions that those individuals
Is this
have.
family or not family?
Family.
Oh, okay.
Interaction with their superiors and their other colleagues.
Mhm.
And that's not true, 100%. Yeah, the boss is the boss. However, you have people that are working diligently, and if the boss is threatened by their achievements, then you're moved, regardless
That
of your
per-
performance.
That
Because
but that person shouldn't be a boss.
I agree with you. However, it's who you know. And so there's a lot of innuendos, there's a lot of other factors, especially today, where you have a lot of younger people expecting to be in leadership positions that know nothing.
That is very true, unfortunately.
And they are the boss, and since they know nothing, if you know more, you are a threat. So they can use you until they know just enough, or they take credit for something and then they move up. And I've watched that, not just today, but I've watched that over 50 plus years.
That's been going on forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's more prevalent today, unfortunately. And then you have your entitled individuals, regardless of age, that they've been given a position of authority, and they take it seriously on the power part, but not on the responsibility part.
No, can't do
So
that.
there's a lot of analysis that can go with that. And then speaking of that, in terms of personalities and what you do and what you don't do, there was an article that I sent you guys, and it was one of those, because I usually don't bring the personality or the behavioral articles up unless I thought it was kind of interesting. This one was because it was in bold, whatever bold is, BOLDE. It was
Bolder
on.
than he.
It was on Google, and what it had says, that's why the solution to marriage is separate bank accounts, so that there's if there is adultery, all you do is the Irish goodbye. What is the Irish goodbye? An Irish goodbye, also known as an Irish exit, is the act of leaving a party, bar, or social gathering
Yep.
quietly without saying goodbye to anybody. Yes, and make sure that if you think that there's anything going on, whether you're in a personal relationship or a business relationship, that you document everything. If you have an email, you take a screenshot.
Well, that's good advice for anybody, anything.
Yes,
Document
because
everything.
paper does have something to do with it.
All right, why am I not finding?
I was going to go to just this article, and then we're going to talk about the audit,
okay.
John. And I have something in, I have a couple of things going on in Chelmsford. So, but anyway, what this article said, psychology says that talking to yourself when you're alone isn't a sign you're lonely. It's one of the most effective ways the brain regulates emotion, rehearses decisions,
I saw
and works through problems it can't solve silently.
I agree with that, by the way, although, and I talk to myself occasionally, my wife thinks I'm crazy.
Well, Glenn keeps saying, what do you say?
Yeah.
You don't need to know. I'm not talking to you. Well, who are you talking to? Doesn't matter. I'm just going through the motions here.
You're working out, for some people, it helps me to verbalize. okay? And when I'm trying to work out a problem, especially. So,
Right, and so, because I was in a relationship where my husband worked a lot, like 12-hour days, there really was nobody around. The only other person that was there was me. So I started to do that because I'm listing things, and verbalizing it helps me remember what it was.
yes,
So,
I agree.
but you have to be careful, because you can get into a habit of doing it all the time,
and
then you
unconsciously
forget.
when you're around other people, and it
Yeah.
does,
Like in a grocery
it
store.
will upset other people, yeah. My sister, more so than my sister always did that. She always, I mean,
I wonder if it's more women than men.
I don't know, but I remember as a little kid, I mean, I'd hear her, she'd be in her room with the door closed, and I knew that there was nobody in there, and she's talking away, and she's asking questions, and she's answering them, and I thought, well, this is interesting.
I
but-
wonder if it's a sign of high intelligence.
I don't know.
Because I remember growing up, because I didn't have that many friends, there wasn't that many kids in my age bracket in the neighborhood. I was like the oldest one, and it wasn't a huge neighborhood at all. So how do you entertain yourself? I read a lot
Well-
of books. There was only 3 TV
yes.
stations. I'd spend time at the library, any number of things. And, if I had toys, I'm putting them together. I'm making up stories. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
I had a conversation with somebody last night, just before our meeting, and she was telling me about her daughter who had an imaginary friend.
Oh, yes.
And
had
I said, so that's my question, did you have an imaginary
No.
friend? Okay,
No, but somebody else did that I knew.
did, when I was a kid. And so I was very interested in what she was telling me about her daughter. And she said, oh yeah, she had so the girl now is, I don't know, maybe 10, but she had the imaginary friend for 3 or 4 years. And the story was, well, it was fine, and I decided to go along with it until she started to blame the imaginary friend for doing things that she did. I said, I never did that. I said, my mother would not have allowed me to blame my imaginary friend. And but I'd forgotten about that, about having the imaginary friend, until she brought it up. And I guess it's quite common, for little kids.
Well, there are stories that are out
Especially
there.
if you don't have siblings that are close in age.
Sam, it reminds me of the story of the little boy.
Yeah.
There's crayons on the wall, and his mother's chastising him. And he says, it's the dog's fault.
There you go.
He said, and the mother said, how is it the dog's fault? And the kiddo says, he picked the colors.
Pick the colors.
There's some cute stuff
That's
that's
funny.
out there.
Blame the dog.
But there are stories out there of individuals who supposedly have the imaginary friend. These
Mm-hmm.
are younger children.
Yeah, I was about.
they-
AI's taking over right now. In Japan, they're marrying their app. Can you imagine
Wait a minute, say
marrying
that
your-
again? They're doing
in
what?
Japan?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, but there are people who legally are marrying their app.
The
They have a
APP?
beautiful person that they've created
Oh, no, the
electronically on their
person-
phone.
It's an imaginary individual.
We're in trouble, folks.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on
We're
like that.
in trouble.
But there are stories
Ah.
out there of younger children,
Mm.
and it's claiming that they have the imaginary friend. But the imaginary
Mm.
friend is telling them things that the parent would know their child would never know, ever know,
That's
and
interesting.
different other things that they have.
Twilight Zone stuff. Huh?
Well, yes, to a certain extent, the do 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 type of thing.
That was a great show.
All right, the audit. So we looked at, and we've been
The
complaining.
audit that really isn't an audit.
No, and they've narrowed the scope of the audit in the House. And what I find absolutely fascinating
It's unbelievable.
is the fact that they had the bill come before the legislature in Massachusetts on the 2nd, and they voted on the 3rd. Whether or not people knew what they were voting for or they didn't. And so it's the legislative body making a vote that will restrict the audit.
Evelyn, you sent me a couple of articles on this, and I picked this one.
Yeah, that's
Because
fine.
do you remember the Beverly Hillbillies?
Oh, yes.
The writer of this article is Sam Drysdale.
Oh, the banker.
I have never
Drysdale.
seen a Drysdale. I thought Drysdale was like a stage name.
Don Drysdale, a pitcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Never heard of it.
I
You
have.
never heard of Don Drysdale?
I have.
Really? Look him up. And then
maybe
and
Do you want me to look them up?
Then
I
they
have to go
became
through a lot of
the,
dust in
Los
my
Angeles
brain.
Dodgers.
But I
Yeah.
just thought I got a kick out of I saw Drysdale. I haven't seen that name in a long time.
Yeah, so Don Drysdale was a.
So on this business right here,
Yeah.
the only thing you can do as a voter is don't vote for your rep. Don't vote for your senator.
Yeah, the problem, John, and I agree with you, the problem is a lot of these races are uncontested.
But
So
you see, like,
they don't have opposition.
Your
when they-
guy out there that you love so much,
Cataldo.
Simon Cataldo.
Yeah.
The sun rises and sets. What would it take for you not to vote for him? But he's supporting this guy.
This is one of them for me.
But the thing is, the guy that you think the sun rises and sets on,
Oh, I don't agree with Simon all the time.
I
So
understand.
neither
but
do I, and I don't
He
agree with
supports
the people
this
he
guy,
supports.
and if he has a party, you'll be there writing a check.
The thing is,
I would say to begin with, stop writing checks.
Yeah.
And when the money dries up, they're going to go, "What's the matter?"
this is outrageous because high level, the voters vote to do an audit, a standard audit. The legislature decides we don't want an audit. And then they dilly-dally for a few years, and then they finally come up with this legislation that says, because of the political pressure, well, we got to do something. But then they put rules in place as to how the audit is going to go. Now, early in my career, I was an auditor, okay? And I can assure you that when I did an audit of a company, I had a checklist. And in no way did the subject of the audit, the company, edit that checklist, tell me what I couldn't look at, and so forth. So what, and you know, look, I'll be honest, because I haven't read this legislation, so I probably shouldn't even be talking about it. But based on the reports, you know, they're narrowing the scope of the audit, and the legislature is deciding what the auditor can and can't see. And what I heard on the news last night, and I'm going to have to look into this a little more because I don't really understand what they meant, but the comment was they're narrowing the scope of the audit to protect certain legislative privileges. Well, that's the point
That's
of
the
the
point
audit.
of the audit.
That's the point of the audit,
So
for
in
God's
this-
sake.
in one of
Just a second. Hold that thought,
You know,
kids.
it's ridiculous.
I just want to point out that my friend Sam Drysdale wrote this article too. He
There you
wrote
go.
the same article is on Channel 10, and it's in the Lowell Sun. So,
So-
But
one
that's be-
guy seems to be interested in this. Sam.
Well, no,
Drysdale.
it's the State House News Service.
Hey, look.
So this is the guy at the State House
With a
that's
name
writing
like-
the articles.
With a name like Sam, you can't go wrong, right?
I'm going to click on Sam Drysdale. See
Yep.
what I get.
I'm gonna
So
look up-
anyway, in the article, it says the bill would limit the auditor's power to investigate the branch to 4 categories of administrative functions rather than the more expansive language outlined in the ballot law. So that what we voted on, they are now telling us we only can audit certain amounts of it instead of what the people, the 70+% people
exactly.
voted for. And then it would also create a new statute establishing a legislative record request process, codifying which records would be public, even though all the records are public, and subject to the governor's office from where they currently claim an exemption. And so when Mariano gave his little speech, he says, well, the House is already audited every year by an independent auditing firm, the results which are posted on the legislature's website upon completion. Well, that's fine and dandy that they do that, but that doesn't mean that people can't call for an additional audit. And the question is it the same audit firm? Do they rotate their audit firms? I mean, I
The
have,
question is, what are they auditing? So the outside audit that they do every year is a function of state law. And that particular audit is limited to certain financial transactions, okay? It's not a complete What DiZoglio is talking about is she's talking about that plus a process audit. That's what she wants to do, okay? And that's what they don't want done. So let me interrupt you for 1 second because, I had good recall on this. Don Drysdale, John, was a right-handed pitcher and hitter for the Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers from 1956 to 1969. So I did remember that correctly. And that's back in the days when the pitchers hit.
Check out Sam's.
And Drysdale was a good
Is a
hitting
woman.
pitcher. He was a good hitting pitcher.
Check out the good-looking Sam Drysdale.
It's a woman, so it must be like
Must be
Samantha.
Samantha?
Pleased to see. She's easy on the eyes.
Okay, so it doesn't look very old either.
No. But this article was written very well.
No relation to Don the pitcher, though.
You never know. How would you know? And so
Could be his granddaughter.
part of the legislation, it says simultaneously barring the courts from resolving disputes between the auditor and lawmakers. And then it says the provision barring judicial review in the case of constitutional questions around the legislative audit drew the most harsh feedback. And then the Democrats are saying that this is a separation of powers issue. So that's what some of them are saying.
No, it's not, because it would be a separation of powers issue if the audit itself carried the ability to make changes, okay, or to interfere with the legislative process. We're talking about an audit. All an audit is somebody looking at your process and reporting on the results. That is not.
Oh, no, Sam, it's the first step to a forensic audit.
I
A
get it,
forensic
but
audit is one that they're looking for criminal activity to put you in jail.
I understand that.
Most people don't.
However, the auditor, my point is the auditor has no power other than to audit. So if you do, in John's example, if you do a forensic audit and you come up with all this stuff, then that information at that point is turned over to
Attorney General.
the proper authorities, right?
Right, so the other parts that she wrote about in this article was that there have been criticisms of this within the legislature, saying there was no public hearing, and it gave representatives 24 hours to review it before
Yeah.
they voted.
Not good.
And it's almost like when Pelosi said, well, we'll pass it and then we'll read it, which is stupid, but that's okay. Everybody thinks that these people are brilliant, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you do that? That's like saying, I'm going to sign this divorce decree, but I'm going to read it later. When you read it later, you have no recourse
You're
to the details that's in it that basically says you get no alimony, you get no nothing.
It's
I mean,
not-
you've got to read your contracts.
This is not the first time an initiative petition question has been passed by the voters and the legislature is short-stopped. They did that with the
Like
state.
when they didn't cut the taxes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they did that with the state income tax, right. And it's been, so, I mean, what is the value of the initiative petition if they're not going to follow through?
Well,
on it?
if this ballot initiative that they're going to lower the sales, they're going to lower the income tax to 4%. This guy here, what is his name?
Dead on arrival, it's not going anywhere.
Ron
Marino,
There'll be a toll plaza on 495
I saw
of
that.
$45 to go to Chelmsford.
Can you imagine that?
That's what they'll do to make up the money.
Well, they'll have other taxes. Remember that they want the tax if you drive over 25,000 miles
Did
a
you want
year
to
or 10,
renew your
whatever it
driver's
is.
license? It's $1,000.
Yeah, they'll just up the fees. If they want more people to move out of Massachusetts, just keep it up. This is what's happening. I mean, their estate tax alone causes people to leave.
Well, if you were this guy, what would you do? You have this, you've abused this, there have been abuses of the system by some of your colleagues, writing off whether it's for sexual promiscuity, be under the desk, whatever happened at work, meaning the State House, wrote them a check and just wrote them off. To legally defend the honorable elected official, that money was written off. These are the things that they want to cover up.
Right, so there is another part that can happen here. And the other part that can happen is that, since we haven't read it, we don't know, is if the state auditor requests information, He's saying she is limited. But the representatives themselves could say, well, I'm turning over all my records, I want to be transparent.
Yeah,
So
that's-
as far as I
yeah,
know, the
that's-
legislation doesn't say that the legislators can't hand over their records
They can.
for
But if
review.
you do, you're gonna tick off, what's his name?
Doesn't matter. The thing is
Oh,
that,
yes, you're gonna tick off Ronnie. Now Ronnie's gonna kick you off the committee and you're gonna get a cut and pay a
Yep.
30 grand.
That's
I'm just
exactly
saying
right.
that there are people out there that.
You want a 30 grand cut and pay?
I'm only telling you, there
I'm
wasn't.
only telling you. Do you want a $30,000 cut and
I
pay?
understand.
Then you're gonna toe the line.
I'm just saying to you, regardless of what their actions will be, is that's an alternative.
Yeah, if they could resign if they want. They're not gonna, they
They're not
like
gonna
the position.
resign.
They like the extra 30 grand. And they're gonna toe the line behind this guy, Ron, Moreno.
Well, if all of them do it, or you have 60 or 70% of them do it, then he hasn't got the same kind of power anymore, does he?
The only
He
thing
can,
the
he can
taxpayers
negate all
can,
of that, but what is he gonna do
only
with the
thing
positions?
taxpayers can do is stop writing checks
They can stop
to
voting for these
politicians.
people. The blanks can
The
win.
voting's in November, Evelyn. If you stop writing checks to Simon Cataldo now, he's gonna go like, why didn't I get any money in?
Well, why do you think voter turnout is so low? People have lost confidence in the
Yes, but instead
elected
of running
officials.
for office to change it, and instead of having their vote count, they're deciding to take a back seat. The bully has won. When you take a
Oh,
back seat,
absolutely.
the
Absolutely
bully
right.
has won.
Absolutely right.
Well, the Commonwealth is gonna go bankrupt, and when it does, this guy's gonna take his pension and run.
Well, the question is whether or not if the state goes bankrupt, is there any money to pay a pension?
Oh, no, the pension, I asked a state person that question. They said the money, you'll get a reduction in your payment, but you'll still get a pension. So if your pension, we'll say, is, we'll pick a good one, like $25,000 a month, and your wife's getting $25,000 a month, and that's your pension every month, you might get 15.
I'll take it.
It's more money than I'd have now if I was in that position. Anyway, so
You should have been a state rep.
another article I had last week is that they're shifting the Citgo sign in Kenmore Square.
Oh, big deal.
Well, some people,
Well, at
it's
least
an
they're not- at least
it's
they're
a
not-
landmark.
At least they're not getting rid of it.
No.
Yeah.
So they were.
Where
Remember
can
they
you
was-
buy Citgo gas?
It doesn't matter. It's an icon.
I'm
So
sure I don't think you have.
they
Citgo
it's not
gas.
such a big move, and what
I
they're
think
going to do
McDonough
is
should
move it so
put
you
their
can see
golden
it.
arches up there.
They
You
still
can
have-
see it from Fenway Park.
I don't think they have Citgo gas anymore. I think that's a thing of the past, isn't it? We'll
I
look
don't
it
know.
up. Well, we'll find
No,
out.
they regionalized this. Like you can't get Shell anymore,
That's correct.
and they regionalized where they're going to put their signs. So they're all happily
Right, but this is like
illegal as hell as they did that.
doesn't
but
matter.
they did.
It's
Well,
one of
yeah,
those signs. People look for it.
You can still buy Citgo gas. There are gas stations. There are Citgo gas stations.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, isn't that nice?
I think it should be the McDonald's arches. What do you think should be up there, Sam?
I like the Citgo sign.
Yeah, it's something out of the past. It's fine.
I used to love going to Fenway Park and you'd see that sign up there. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
So we had talked about Prime 41 as a restaurant last week.
My wife's been twice within 7 days. How do you like that? Did she
Sam,
tell
can you
No.
set that mic a little closer to you?
Yeah.
So anyway, they
No,
as you said, they
like
have lunch,
2 more inches, Sam.
and then they also have
All right.
opened their patio.
Thank you.
Oh, so now they're outside.
Now they're outside.
Good.
I would assume not in inclement weather, but now they can be outside so that
Yep.
they can watch all the traffic go by. When we
Kinda
went, there was
noisy.
some kind of an accident right there in the center,
Yeah.
and it was all the fire engines, and I don't know all what, but at least we were on the inside, you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, it's too. I think. For me, it would be too noisy. Well, it depends on.
I don't like the bugs. I never eat outside. We went to a Monday Night Dinner Club. We went to a family pizza out in Drake,
Yeah.
across from the school, high school, and oh my God, it was
The bugs.
fabulous. We had a fabulous dinner.
The
Good time.
Princeton Station up in North Chelmsford has outside seating, and they have those zap lights for the bugs, and they work pretty well,
I'll
actually.
be inside.
Yeah.
No worries. You can sit out there.
Yeah.
I'll be inside.
So there's another, I sent you this, and it was, when you take a look at Messenger, John, it was Wednesday. So if you back up on all my posts on Facebook, and you go back to Wednesday,
Oh, I never fixed
Ancient
Facebook
history.
today.
yeah, right.
I never fixed Facebook today. I should have. I'll fix that after I look this up.
Right, so if you go to Messenger, it's on Facebook. So there's also another place that's in,
Still cramping here.
sorry, maybe you need to take extra magnesium.
Oh, God.
There's also,
Yeah,
what's the other thing,
that's right.
tonic water.
Go outside and suck on your back bumper. Where are you going to get magnesium?
But with a pill, with
Yeah, you can take,
fruits?
they tell you to take zinc too, so
Well, there's
I
a
don't
whole
know.
lot of things.
bananas have zinc.
Yes, and they're high in potassium.
Yep.
But you gotta be careful of the glycemic index.
I hate bananas.
They're okay. Probably because I had to have them
More
all
for
my life.
me.
Yeah, so when you go back in here, what it is, it's a video of the inside of Summer Street Groceries. It shows food, so you could actually get meals there.
Oh, yes, we've
So-
gotten, they have nice prime rib.
Yep,
package.
so when it is a video, you don't have to have the
That's cool.
the sound. So it's not very long, but it shows all the different foods because we talk about food every week, and I have several food articles or topics that we can talk about. So as he's going through this,
I can't get into Facebook because they're demanding I find a fire hydrant here. There ain't one. So,
I hate that.
and now I have a fire
well, you have one there.
hydrant.
Well,
see.
one of the benefits of being on the
Mountains
Chelmsford
and hills.
Parade Committee is that you get dinner.
They're nuts.
So we start our meetings at 6 o'clock, and we eat, and then we proceed to the business, and we get the food from Summer Street. And my wife is in charge of the food. And it's excellent. And and as Evelyn said, you can buy complete dinners already made, in the containers. You get, nice, generous slice of prime rib and then vegetables and potato. And it's pretty reasonable, I think, but the food is excellent. I've not had anything that isn't really, really good from Summer Street. And it's a local business owned by local people who live in town. So, you want to support that. I was a little concerned when they first started, because it's tough to start a business. And then you probably remember they had some difficulty. They had a fire, they had an electrical fire, and then, I don't know, they had two or three things go wrong. But they were able to get through that, so.
So we're waiting for you to get to Messenger because there's a bunch of stuff. That's where we go
Going
next.
as fast as I can.
Well-
Oh,
Ev.
no,
I
I'm
told-
making a comment to the people that are watching.
Looks like you got into
I-
Facebook.
Yep, I'm not saying that you're going slow.
Okay, so,
There's the boys down the radio station this morning. There's
Yeah.
Jose, there's Sean, there's Cisco. Enjoying themselves today.
what happened?
Evelyn Thoren.
What happened to Jerry Nutter?
He, I guess, there's all kinds of rumors, but he's not there anymore. And let him tell you what the real ones. I haven't seen Jerry to ask him what happened, but I've heard all kinds of rumors.
Well, he works for the city now, doesn't he?
I think so. Might be the
Yeah.
school department side. I don't know.
There it is, the one with the meat. See, it says Summer Stir? Okay, that one. So you can see
There you go.
that, because it's a video, I don't know how you activate your video. Oh,
There you
there it
go.
is. So you can see the inside. This is on Summer Street.
Right in my
in-
backyard, actually.
Yep, in Chelmsford. And they have like a little grocery area.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the different little things now. You see their chicken.
Does it
then
Monkey
you'll
Basket have this stuff?
Did what?
Stop and Shop, they don't have this stuff?
Oh, yeah,
This-
they
yes,
do.
but this is local, and
They
it's
do.
locally cooked.
So Stop and Shop.
Yeah, but
Okay, listen
I'm
to
just
you.
saying that they have all this stuff. It's a local business. If you like local businesses
what-
versus the big
They're,
box
What's the place
guys.
called?
Summer Street Grocers.
So they have groceries, as the name implies, but again, they also have, a deli of sorts, and then they have
Meals.
complete meals. that are some are prepackaged, others you can, have them make stuff up for you as you want. And their stuff is very good, very good. They have wonderful tomatoes. Of course, I love tomatoes, right? Very fresh
Good.
stuff, and I like it because I can walk over there. I mean, it's a 5-minute walk from my house. Very
So,
convenient.
John, and then if you scroll one more back, you can see the video of how they've raised the condos in Drake to fix the foundation. So they're still in that.
Yeah, we talked about that
We
last.
saw that
process.
last week.
Yep. Well, that was an update.
How high did they raise them?
I don't know. I'd have to look into a
Boy,
little bit
that's-
more.
That's not
Well,
an
the
easy thing.
concrete, the foundation was crumbling, so they had
Yeah.
to do something.
Right. And then
It's the chemicals they put.
I
in
have
the
a
concrete.
question for you
It's the
because
Hampton Bridge what we're.
and then if you have, yes, so then you've got the bridge construction in Hampton, and is that near where you are?
Yeah, that's the drawbridge that
You're kidding. How long have they been doing that?
it started last fall.
When's it gonna be done, do you know?
They'll beat the Rock Bridge for sure.
Oh, Jesus. Anything will beat the Rock
They're
Bridge.
gonna beat the Rock Bridge, and it's gonna be 2 lanes going each way.
Oh, that's good.
And there's no more drawbridge. It's up high enough for. There's no drawbridge, so it's open 24/7.
Yeah, that needed to be done, I think, that bridge.
The drawbridge was a joke.
Yeah.
To have an antenna on there.
That needed to be done.
Right, and then there's another scam out there, which if you
Scam.
scroll, yep, there it is, the scam. That Massachusetts police are warning everybody against an elaborate credit card phone scam. If you have a credit card
Ugh.
company call you, because I had this happen, and say, we think there's fraud on your card, we think somebody is using your identity, instead of allowing them or believing who they are, you hang up and then you call the number on the back of your card and ask for the fraud department.
There you go.
You do not go through any of this process because you don't know who's on the other end, especially if they start asking you for your social security number, the codes on the back of your credit card, and all of the other stuff that's out there. So please be aware that if you get a request through your telephone, it could be through text messages, it could be through email, that if anything you think is compromised, you call the card company directly with the card company number. So anytime I come across scams, I like to make sure that I let people know about that. And that, speaking of food, any of Evelyn's homemade goodies? Yes,
Yeah, there.
What'd you have today?
Pull them out here
I made yesterday.
because Sydney's coming, so we'll get to this. So, Ev,
What is it?
what do we got here, kiddo?
What I have is I have my coconut custard pie,
Mmm.
and
Good
then
stuff.
the other thing that you see is I made fig squares.
Oh, nice.
And if Bob Hoey had been here, he could give me his personal assessment,
I'm
his
not,
critique.
I'm not a fig
So
person.
I'll
I
eat
am. I
this
love
after
figs.
7. I'll eat this. Thank you.
I like your coconut stuff, though. That's good.
Right, well, that's what I meant. I almost brought him in
Yeah.
quiche, because I made quiche yesterday, too.
Quitchy.
Yes, that's all right. I was limited with what I had, but it was kind of interesting. I had Spam. So when I made quiche yesterday, this is for you, Bart.
Spam?
You put
S-P-A-M.
spam in it? You put spam
You
in
use
it?
Spam still?
No, not. I haven't had Spam in a decade or
Why
two
did you have spam on hand?
because it stays forever. And if we had an issue, I have something to eat. So anyway, I had a can of Spam, so I cut it up. I had made one of the containers I cut up in half, and I made 2 quiches. And so instead of putting bacon in it, I put the Spam in it.
I like spam.
And it was really good. It added the right amount of saltiness to the dish. And there's a few other things I would change with what I had made, but I just want to let people know that was a very interesting ad. Because not an ad AD, an ad ADD.
Something that you added to the...
Yeah.
Spam is a canned, pre-cooked meat product made by Hormel Foods. Contrary to popular belief, it is not mystery meat. Classic version contains exactly 6 simple ingredients: pork with ham, salt, water, Potato starch.
I would assume that it's all the salt in it that keeps it from
Oh,
going bad.
It does have a lot of salt in it, so that would be, people have to watch their sodium, it's not good. Sugar is in everything, they put sugar in everything, and sodium nitrate, which is a preservative.
Yeah, that's not good for you.
No.
There's a lot of stuff not good for you.
Well, isn't there a rule that says if it tastes good, it's bad for you?
No, not
Well,
necessarily.
my father used to say that all the time.
There was an article that I had, but I did not forward
They
that
have
to
a healthy
anybody.
choice. Now, Ev, did you have the healthy choice? The Spam Light?
No, I just had the regular
Spam
Spam.
Light.
I haven't
That
even heard
means
of
it
Spam
lights
Light.
up in your mouth.
Never heard of it, so that must be something.
But it still has this, I'd want to buy the low sodium.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that,
Has chicken in it, too.
yeah, so there's a whole, and then they have the other ones. No,
Puppy or lazy eater, don't tell people it's in the food.
No, don't. No. Just here, do you like it or don't you like it? That's all. Ask them how they like the taste of it.
So there was another article, but I don't think I sent it to anybody.
Spam.
And what it was a list, I probably read it this morning. It was a list of all of the things that we have in our diet today versus what was in diets 50 to 100 years ago. And then what the results are.
A lot of it's chemicals, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of things that's within this country that's added to our food that is not added to European food or South American or any place else in the world, but it seems to be added to ours. So you want to make sure you read labels. One of these days I'll bring in a pile of labels and I'll tell you what everything is. But it's a very interesting
Morning,
thing
Sidney.
to take a look.
Well, it's an industry.
How you doing? Good?
You know, a lot of money in there. A
Congratulations,
lot
the
of
budget's
people have a
behind you.
vested interest in
Just go
in
plunk
keeping
down
those
next to
chemicals
Sam,
going.
I'll widen the shot.
So when we were talking about food, if you take a look
Yeah, you
at,
sit- you sit
at
where
the
I am.
Facebook posts, John,
Next to Evelyn.
I come to get more knowledge.
What a production, huh?
so if you take a look, it's not the first one, because I want to talk about what's going on in South Chelmsford briefly. And you have one of the posts, and that I see you on Facebook, it's like the second one up from the bottom. What is your steak level? We always talk about all kinds of food.
Your
We were talking
snake
about-
level?
Yeah, STEAK. It's on, I sent you a photograph.
Never heard of it.
Steak?
Steak level.
Well, we were talking about Prime 41.
Said steak.
Not STAKE, STEAK. Remember all those words?
Oh, I can't remember any.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
From extremely well done, like a hockey puck.
I'd
in other
go, with,
words-
I'd go with like 5. But this here, not my car. I'd send
No,
it back.
no,
3
no.
or 4 is mine.
Medium for me.
Mine is either,
It depends if I like the cook or not. I might keep this. But the rest,
5. I'm a 5.
I'm not a 5. I'm either a 2 or a 3.
Oh, God.
And that goes not only for steak, but any meat,
how about you, Sidney?
any beef, I should
Yeah,
say.
either a 3, maybe 4.
No, I'm never a 4.
I want it.
Sam,
Although-
what's your number?
I'm 5. I want mine pink, hot pink, thoroughly cooked but not overcooked. I'll tell you something, and viewers who've traveled the country probably know this, but of course a lot of people never been outside of New England. The rare meat is a Northeast thing. You go to the Midwest, everything's well done. You go to the South, everything's well done.
Well, I overcook my pork
Yeah.
till it falls off
Well,
the bones.
pork is different. I mean, you got to thoroughly cook pork.
When I have
Right.
when I make my spare ribs, it's falling off the bone. It's really good.
Tommy Floramos with
And
all
if
the
I-
Okay,
if I
flavors.
make
well,
a-
I have you characters over there.
Yes.
Starting with Sam, only one restaurant. If you're going to go and have a steak that you love, where are you going? I don't know. I don't eat steak. Against the
Outback.
the Outback.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Sydney, if you're going to go have a steak, you can only pick one restaurant. Where are you going to go?
Wow. Locally, I mean, I went to Outback, I went to 99, so I probably would go with Outback.
Yeah,
Okay.
99's good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only 2 places that I normally
Evelyn?
go.
I don't know. I've been to Outback, but Prime 41 was good, pricey. Princeton Station, but see, I don't eat that much steak. I don't order steak when I
That,
have
well,
beef.
I don't care. The question
If I
is-
want to do prime rib,
The question is steak.
Steak.
right, well then I can't answer that because I don't order steak.
Okay, I'm going to Cavalieros in Lowell. Back over to you guys.
Oh, that's,
We're
yeah,
done, we're
good,
done with steak.
good choice. Caballeros is good, yes.
Right, and then there's all
Yeah,
kinds of
good
other
choice.
prime rib places that's in the local area, Drake, Chelmsford, Lowell, Tewksbury, Tingsboro. So everybody should, if they want to try to do an analysis and a comparison,
Mm-hmm.
is to take a look online and see what restaurants there are with
Evelyn,
regard to
it's
that.
like around here, debating prime rib is like debating whose wife is prettier.
Why?
There's so many fantastic places.
Yeah, a lot
where
of
you can
places.
Okay,
get-
I'll agree with
A lot
that.
of
Prime
places
rib.
do, yeah. a lot
I'll
of-
agree with that
yeah,
one.
prime
And
rib.
you're not going to go wrong whether you go to Princeton Station or you go to
Yep.
the Village Inn,
I agree.
Sweetheart Inn, Cavalieros, wherever you're going to get prime rib, it's going to be exquisite.
So keeping with the theme of food, there was one of those articles,
Hey,
had,
I'm sick of that microphone. Just turn him on the side, grab another one.
this one?
Yeah, it's like giving like crackling noises. Yeah. So just turn them on the side. The
it's not
impedance
my-
of the batteries is not good. You
So,
put a new battery with an old battery, they
we,
gets ticked off.
I didn't know about Caballeros until about a year ago.
Where's it located?
John Souza introduced us to Caballeros, and I was very, very impressed. And I had steak.
Cavalieros are on Lawrence Street.
Yes, I had steak tips, I think, and they were out of this world. They were. You didn't need you could eat it with a spoon. You know what I mean? It was so tender.
Melts in your mouth. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, unbelievable. I thought it was reasonably priced. It was funny because we like to eat early, so we get there at like 5:15, and there's nobody in the place, right? And
Yep.
I thought, well, by the time we were through eating, they were lined up out the door, right? Very popular restaurant. So yeah, I would highly recommend them.
So I also sent you guys an article about discontinued candy bars that people would still like to have if they would redo them.
Was this in Facebook?
No,
Okay.
this was on text messaging.
Give us a couple of.
Marathon bar.
Never heard of it.
Oh, I have. Peanut Butter Max,
Never heard of it.
Hershey's Bar None, Hershey's Cookies and Mint, Wonka Bar, and Hershey's Gold Bar. So basically, it's Hershey's that must be doing, discontinuing. I know I would assume it's on consumer consumption.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more out there with regard to all the candy bars. We've talked about candy before.
Some are rare though, like the Sky Bar, which
I liked those.
I thought had disappeared. And John
Oh, there's
Curlin.
15.
John Curlin was a big Sky Bar
You can get
person.
a lot of stuff on.
So my wife says we'll find it. So she went up online and found Sky Bars that you could order, through Amazon or something. And she ordered a whole case of Sky Bars for John. Here you go. Yeah.
So this is a different article.
Reggie Bar. Never heard of it. Oh, I love
Butterfingers.
I love Butterfingers.
Love Butterfingers.
I didn't know they were gone. Jeez, that's
I used to
terrible.
grind
They
those
are?
up and
You
put them
can't
in
get
cookies.
Butterfingers
No,
anymore?
2000, that's a lie.
No,
I get
you
them-
can still get
The
those.
Halloween bag the kids bring.
Yeah, you can still get those.
But you
Yeah.
also can take those and grind them up and put them in cookies. Now you have a Butterfinger
Evelyn,
cookie.
I just pop them in my
Put them
mouth.
on ice cream.
Yeah, you grind them up.
Yep,
That's like ground up toffee.
yep.
Not good for your teeth.
Wonka bars, the golden ticket. Nah, don't know.
Chocolate.
That's what the city council needs, a golden ticket, right, Sidney?
Yeah, to someplace.
We'll talk about more of that after 7. I never heard of half of these either.
Squirrel nut zippers, okay. No. Oh, no, they still
Twix
have.
is still around.
Yes, but this is the Java one, which would have coffee in it.
Oh, okay, never heard of it.
There's your PB Max.
No, never heard of it.
I did. I didn't like them. I'm not into peanut butter and chocolate anyway.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen
Oh,
this. I've
it's
seen
fun.
these.
I love these whatchamacallit.
Yeah, and these things were also in Halloween candy.
That's a Hershey's thing.
Yeah, Hershey's has a wide range of
Do
things.
you ever visit the Hershey
Yes.
factory?
It smells great.
Fantastic.
Very interesting. The raspberry and cream from
Nope,
Hershey's. Looks
Never heard
good.
of it. No. That's old. Look
Yeah,
at the
that's
ad.
yeah, I know.
That's
That's
an
back.
old
It looks
one.
like that's into the 40s.
Yeah.
There's your bar none.
I never heard of most of these. Oh, I'm not a big candy person. anyway.
Chicken dinner
dinner.
candy bar?
Oh, come on.
What is that?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
It tells you what's
Chicken
in it.
candy.
I think
Okay.
that's
Well,
it.
anyway, I
It
thought
goes
that
to
was
movie
kind of
stars.
interesting, so, we have 5 minutes.
5 minutes to wrap up the food.
Well, yeah, there's not any other food, but if you go back to the Facebook Messenger, the one that's just earlier, because we're going to briefly talk about what's going on in South Chelmsford at a little after 7, because that leads into some other questions I have of you.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe Sidney can give us some advice.
But there's one there that has to do with 13 retail stores that have senior discounts. And we've listed some of them, but this was a new list. And it just takes a couple of minutes.
A lot of
Some
them
of them
do.
you just have to
You
ask.
have to ask. Don't forget the veterans discounts, too. A lot of places have that.
Yes, but you have to prove it.
It's on
You
your-
just can't
it's
ask
on-
for it.
It's on your driver's license.
I understand, but it used to be that you could say it,
Yeah.
and if you were old enough and wore a certain hat, they'd accept it, like Home Depot. But now they don't do that anymore
People
because
lie.
That's correct.
Well, I have it on
And
my
if you
driver's
lie,
license.
you should pay 10% more.
I
Well,
agree.
And even when
I
my
agree.
father would go, who was a veteran, to Home Depot, they made him prove it. He was pissed, but that's okay. So I'm just saying
Well,
that.
Evelyn,
People
knowing
lie.
the little I
'Cause he
know
was
about
like
your dad,
90.
he was always pissed.
He was 90. My father didn't get upset about much. He lived with
Well,
my mother.
when you're 90,
He couldn't.
you have a right to be pissed all the time. Right?
What else you got?
No, but like I said, it wasn't all the time.
Everything hurts.
I got another 11 years to go, right? And then I can be pissed all the time.
Everything
You're right.
hurts.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that the truth?
So anyway, one of the things that has come up that I didn't notice, just to lead into a couple of things I want to talk about in the next hour. One is there's work being done in South Chelmsford, and I didn't know about it until I read Facebook this morning because there's so many posts about it. So we'll briefly talk about that because then if you have any updates on the Rourke Bridge, if there's anything else going on, you don't have to say anything now. I mean,
Right.
we'll wait till after 7. So we have all of that. And so we have like about a couple of minutes that's left. And one of the posts I had just to end this is 12 home repairs you'll eventually need to do. And then what that did was it told you 12 items and how long they last when you should be considering replacing your roof, your furnace, your air conditioning unit, windows, appliances, carpet, exterior paint, driveway, deck, smoke detectors, water heater, and electric panel.
It's not cheap to have a property.
No,
No, they know.
but if you can do a whole lot of them all at one time and you get 30 or 40 years out of it, like when we did the roof, we're already 20 years into the roof. It's a 40-year roof. But in another 20 years, I don't know if I'm going to be there or here, for that matter. And as far as carpet goes, when we did my mother's house, here, this particular article says 5 to 10 years. I think we had about 30 or 40 on the carpets that was in my mother's house because they didn't want to spend the money. Beautiful hardwood floors underneath, but she liked carpet because it was warmer. Older people. I'm not into necessarily all of that because I'm not doing warm. I was surprised at replacing an electric panel because it says 25 to 40 years. And I had never heard that you should replace it because it shouldn't go down. But
Hey,
you
Sidney,
can
how warm
upgrade
is
it.
it outside?
Oh, it's getting warm up. It's really nice right now.
Gonna be a beautiful day. We'll be back. Thanks.
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host up until the 8 o'clock, approximate 8 o'clock time frame. Sam Chase is my co-host this morning. We have Sidney Liang here, Lowell City Councilor, and a lot of interesting things going on. John McDonough is behind the camera. You'll hear his voice. Sometimes you see his face. And he always has something to ask and something to add, which is not a problem. It's like we have 3 people in view and 1 in the background.
Evelyn, you asked about South Chelmsford projects, work projects, and there's a lot of them.
Yep.
Yes, but there's ones that's not there.
Oh,
Which is what?
well,
It's
AI says these are the important ones. Okay, but go
well, no,
ahead.
these don't. This. So I thought it was interesting because when I was on Facebook this morning, and I got up about 4:30, I noticed that there were, and this is on Facebook, John, that I sent a couple of things to you, and it the first the first one that I saw, I was surprised at because I wasn't aware that things were going on. So we have an individual in town that does the bike trail. Bikes about like 2,500 miles a year, and that's Tom Cristiano. He takes a lot of pictures. He's a very good artist also, and very much involved in the town, but not necessarily appointed or elected. But he's there. He's always taking pictures. He's always PRing things.
Is this
Wonderful
Hart
individual.
Pond?
Yes.
Yes.
And so on YouTube, there is the video of this project coming before the Conservation Commission because they're working near the pond in South Chelmsford. And they need ADA access improvements, drainage upgrades, parking area reconstruction, catch basins, asphalt walkways, and seasonal beach access mats. And
For
so
the
they went
Hart
through
Pond
them.
area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so there was a public meeting presentation, which is what you see there, on March 24th. And apparently there are people that are surprised that something's going on down there, but people aren't paying attention, which we did talk about in the first hour with regard to a different topic.
That's the Conservation Commission right there.
Yes.
Where is this room?
That's the Selectmen's room in Town Hall, room
Okay.
204.
Second
Town hall,
floor.
Okay.
Yep, that's in town office on Bill Rickle Road. So the town DPW engineers and Conservation Commission are working on this, and they did have the presentation, they did have a public hearing, and then I don't know if I sent you something through my text messages that actually had pictures, but I don't know if it made it. It didn't make it. So there's a lot of pictures. So if anybody is interested in that, you can take a look at, I think, Open Space Stewards. They had some pictures. I know that Dave Sperry had posted a lot of different pictures that he had gone and taken. And so you can just look those people up and then you should be able to see whatever's going on in
That
South
area
Chelmsford.
should have been upgraded 25 years ago.
They have been working on it off and on, especially because the bike path goes
Yep.
right through that area. And then the pond,
What are
as
you guys trying to do with it? Take away the water or add water? What are you trying to do?
they're trying to improve the site to make it ADA accessible,
Right.
better parking, and there's a lot of drainage because if it rains a lot, it floods.
Well, last time I heard wheelchairs never turn into boats. So how are they gonna make that?
Because they have, when I was listing what it was they were going to do, they're gonna have asphalt walkways so that a wheelchair can actually run on the
Everything
walkway.
is dirt now. The parking lot is dirt.
That's
and,
stupid.
You know,
It used to be a street that ran through
They
it.
have wheelchairs with big wheels on them.
Well, regardless of what it is, that's what they're doing in South
we
Chelmsford.
tried
Okay,
to.
So if anybody wants to know anything, that's where
We
that
tried- we
is.
tried-
Looking at
to
this
pay the-
big map we have on the meeting, is this the pond down here?
Can't see it.
Can't see it.
Yeah, you don't, you gotta put it up, it's okay. Let me go back to this.
Too many
Let me go back to
screens up.
this.
Is this the pond?
I haven't got it, oh, there it is. I don't know if, okay. I can't read it.
Good sized pond.
Well, where the line is, see that line that kind of slashes? That's the bike path.
Yep.
So then you have,
Well, it
And
seems to end in the water. Unless we know where the pond is,
No,
we're
that,
kinda
no.
screwed.
It doesn't end in the water, but
Well, I
that's
just
how
asked
we,
if this was the pond, and I didn't get any pushback, so.
pond is to the left,
Pond's over here?
down, left corner, there you go, lower left corner, that's your pond. From what I understand from the drawing that I can kinda see. And so
You wanna
you,
put wheelchair ramps down there.
well, they're gonna, see where the bike path is, I would assume there'd
Okay,
be
for you
wheelchair ramps over
wheelchairians,
there.
for you wheelchairians, what you wanna do is discover Lowell's Riverwalk. It's freaking magnificent for wheelchairians.
Yep, it is.
And a lot of eye candy, handsome men, beautiful women, and the submarine races continue along the Merrimack River, and it's a absolutely beautiful.
Good place to walk.
So take your electric wheelchair to the Riverwalk, and you'll have a fantastic time. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff.
I like going early evening in the summer before it gets dark. I like doing that walk.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me to see specifically.
Don't ask me to read a plan. You know how
Have
I
we-
am.
have-
No, I know how to do that. We're done with this.
We've
I
moved
can't
on.
even tell
Yes, we're
direction,
moving
so,
on.
We've
no.
moved on. So what else you want me to showcase?
Well, so far, that's it.
So Sidney, did you get beat up pretty good at the hearing for the budget? 'Cause
Yeah, you look okay.
Actually, you clipped out what, 260 grand.
Oh, well, yeah, somewhat, yeah, but there's still. Well, I've learned a lot. Let's put it that way. I've learned a lot. I've learned, how the budget work. I learned how, whether you move things around or not. But
Would you agree that Golden couldn't shine without Baldwin?
well, it's budget, so I don't think.
Amazing. When I see Baldwin talking, this guy knows how to talk. He knows how to the
Well,
stuff he
that's,
said made so much sense. And they're like, "Okay, how's he going to get out of this one?" And geez, the
Yeah.
answer he gave was fantastic.
Now, who is Baldwin?
Connor
He's
Baldwin.
He's the finance guy.
Yeah, it's the CFO.
Okay, just so that people that may not know who the finance director is?
Guy's
Connor Baldwin.
fantastic.
Yeah, I know that he's really good with finance and stuff. What I wish for the most is that when I was talking with Sam and Evelyn the other time when I was here, I wish there were more black and white explanation and not explanation from Mr. Baldwin.
You want more commentary?
You mean from the department heads and so forth?
Yeah, I wanted to see, because normally when you do a budget, you put a description of what you're spending it on. And when you sit there and listen to Mr. Baldwin, he's good. He's very knowledgeable. He know a lot of the stuff. But it's not black and white. If you read it and you don't have a chance to ask Mr. Baldwin, let's say we'll read it out here. We don't even know where these money go, and some of the line items are really, really big. And these line items could be useful in some other place, and these line items could be really useful for the department itself. But to me, it's not transparent enough to see this money where it's going, because once Mr. Baldwin leaves that chair, I have no clue in terms of this 130,000, this 500,000, where it's going and stuff like that. So I can't come back and turn the page and say, okay, this is really, a good money where it's spending to, but.
Well, Sidney, going forward, sorry, my mic was off. I was eating a fig square. It was delicious, Ev. And going forward, it's going to be very easy when a department says, "We need $90,000 for overtime," and the answer is going to be, "Tough cookie. You didn't ask for it during budget time. You're not getting it now." And that's going to be what you guys have to apply pressure with, because what they'll do is they'll undercut their budget, knowing they can cry poor mouth in September, and you
Yeah.
guys will cave.
What hurts me and frustrates the most is that we did talk that there would be no increase and no raises, but you look throughout the budget, that's not the actual thing. And well, then I stepped back and I was like, okay, this is politics. But then you have to look at, this is people hard-earned money. This is people that going to work, 2 or 3 jobs, and you got all this money, and we should be able to actually use it wisely.
Well, you have the
You
right
know.
attitude, because taxpayers need the money for their own personal use, and I know that civil servants go, we need more money from the taxpayers. It's less money for the taxpayers, so it's a balance that you lose sleep over.
It's true.
It's a credibility issue, so, I mean, the problem is that your taxpayers, in large part, when your government people say, look, we need this money, and if we don't get it, then these are going to be the bad consequences of us not funding whatever it is. The problem is people don't believe that when they're told that, okay? And that's the issue. And I'll just give you some very simple examples. Lowell doesn't do it, but the suburbs often will do operational overrides. And if we don't get the extra money out of an override, then we're going to have to cut this, we're going to have to cut that, we're going to have to cut this. The vote gets taken, the override fails, and nothing gets cut, okay? I mean, it happens all the time.
Well, it didn't happen like that in Chelmsford.
I understand that, but it has happened in Chelmsford, not recently, okay? Because we had a town manager that told the truth, okay? That's the difference. But you look at some of these other towns and, oh, well, we found the money here, we found the money. Well, then what the hell did you ask for the override for? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so there's there's very little credibility. I think that's the issue.
Nobody gets in trouble for being wrong.
But I think that you can say that for the past, but currently, because that's been happening so much, we found the money, they're not finding any more money. And there are schools that are closing and consolidating because there's no money to run them. When we had, I forget what year it was, 2002, 2004, somewhere in there.
The first school project.
One of those years when I was chair, I think it was the last time I was chair, there were two things that came up. One was we wanted to have, I think it was 121 or 113 million dollar
112 million.
Debt exemption.
Yes, 112.
And
I
that
was on
would
the
have,
finance committee, so I remember it.
and that would have gotten us a lot.
And you would have had 62% reimbursement from the state at that point.
Yes, but people didn't want to do that.
Nope.
Then we came back with 86, which I did not support, because there was no equitable equity between the two middle
And that
schools.
failed even worse than the first one.
Right, and the reason was because
Right.
it came back too soon, because you had an individual, the night of the failed vote, basically say, well, I guess they're gonna come back with such and such, and the school committee hadn't even discussed the options at that point. Then they decided, because with the 86, we had a combination of 86 and 55 million, and again, that money would have got us much further than what we're doing currently. Then because of the way that everything was working, then we wanted to go for an override. And that
30
failed.
30 million.
But no, that was something
That was the
different. That was a
third one.
building.
That was
the
third
building thing was the
Right.
33 million or what, or 31 million. No,
Yep.
31. And that they passed.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to have an operational override in the town because of what was going on in the schools. And I was chair at that time and basically said, I almost fainted when I had the superintendent, we were discussing something, and he said, well, we're gonna close Westland School. And I was like, well, where did this come from? You wanna talk about being blindsided.
Where is the Westland School?
The Westland School is on Dalton Road in Chelmsford. Currently, it's still open because it's the
Community ed.
a community ed program, and you have early childhood education there. So they kept it open because we had put a lot of money into the school itself. So they repurposed it. They didn't close it per
No,
se, literally.
And it's a moneymaker because they charge tuition. So that's, the.
Well, it was revenue generating, yeah.
Right.
Is it tax generating?
Pardon me?
Does it generate any real estate taxes for the town?
No, it generates the revenue in order for that revenue
You
to
want
go
to
towards
send
the
your
maintenance
kid,
of the
you want to
building.
send your kid to the early childhood program, you have to pay.
Unless
okay?
it's special ed,
Right.
and then it's different.
Right, but still, it is a revenue positive thing. So and we understood that they would do something like that at the time. I was on the select board at the time. So when they talked about closing the school, what they meant was, we're gonna lay off teachers and staff. That's what it was.
Oh, we were gonna close it
It
to the
wasn't-
elementary school
Yeah,
program.
It wasn't close down the building.
No,
Okay.
and so so that came up, and the override failed, and we closed Westlands.
Right.
I had people tell me,
They lost 43 teachers.
I had people say to me,
Why
we
do I
didn't think you were
remember
gonna
these
do
numbers?
it. They were going according to the same philosophy, the same
Yeah.
approach that everybody had, oh, we'll find the money. And when we closed it,
People were shocked.
people
You're
were
right.
absolutely
They
shocked.
were
And I
shocked.
said, what about it didn't you believe? I said, I'm not here trying to make up stuff. I told you what it was, and that's what happened.
It was the same thing on the trash override. We said, if you don't pass the override, we're gonna cut out trash, so, the override failed, and then they cut out the trash pickup. And, one gentleman said to my wife, I'm really mad that, I don't get my trash picked up anymore, and she says, well, did you vote for the override? He says, well, no, and she said, well, why didn't you vote for the override? Well, because they have to pick up the trash.
No, they don't.
No, they don't, but you see, that's what
Sam, you are
people,
mistaken.
that's what
You
people
are
think.
mistaken.
What?
It's a state law. The
Yep.
town has to pick up the trash. It's a Board of Health rule. The town must pick up the trash.
Yes, but it doesn't
they,
say-
But they don't have to fund it through the taxes. You're right,
They can fund it through fees.
they can fund it
They
through
have
fees.
to pick up the trash.
Yeah,
You
I-
don't have
yes.
to pay
And
for it.
I
You
know.
have to pick up the
I
trash.
understand that,
So
but that's
this-
not the issue.
if
The
that-
issue is,
And your problem is,
Yeah.
you don't want me to write it off on my taxes.
that's correct. So, the issue is, do you get charged a separate fee, or is it included in your property tax, okay? And that's what the issue was.
Now, what they've done,
Right.
because everything has been getting more expensive with the trash, is in Chelmsford, you're allowed 2 barrels. Then you have to buy blue bags if you want to put extra stuff out there. And you're only, instead of having a bulk pickup every week,
I think
except
the
on.
recycling is unlimited, though.
Yes,
right?
recycling
Yeah.
is unlimited.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you put trash in the recycling.
Oh,
but-
no,
But
can't do
it's
that.
unlimited. And then as far as bulk pickup goes, you now cannot, by state law, you cannot put mattresses in landfills. So you have to have a special company pick that up. That costs money. You can't put televisions
Nope.
in landfills
That's
and
hazmat.
other
That's
appliances.
hazmat stuff.
So you have, that is a separate fee somewhere that you have to figure out what to do with that. Certain metal items are not picked up either unless you have a special sticker, or you can figure out how to have a metal guy pick everything up. And then the bulk items is, instead of every week, except on holiday weeks, is now only once a month. I don't know how they track it, but, because
That's a good
it's
question.
like crazy. I don't do too much of any of it because
We've
we
had-
don't generate
we've had
a lot of
good-
trash.
We've had good luck with it. I mean, I've talked to people that have not had good luck with the trash pickup service, but we've had good, my experience.
They're
is-
killing my barrels.
Yeah, well, they want you to buy the Harvey barrels.
Right, well, we're not doing that.
Well,
It's cheaper.
I will do it when my regular barrels disintegrate, which is.
So what Glenn has done is he has taken duct tape.
Oh.
And we're holding one of the barrels.
Buy the barrel.
No, it works fine. And then we bought the not Husky, but it's a heavy duty barrel. And so far they haven't been able to screw it up. They try.
Evelyn, how expensive are the town barrels?
$75 each.
Yeah, and they're gonna last
Forever. Those things are built, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
So what Glenn did was
they're
we
built.
found one at Walmart marked down that was similar to what their barrel was, and so far so good.
Yeah.
We haven't had a problem with that
I
barrel.
recommend that people buy the Harvey
Well,
barrels.
I haven't done that yet.
Yep.
And then we also have another location where we can throw stuff away. And what's interesting is where we have the second house, is they tried recycling, and it failed in that community.
The town
Yes, it
doesn't
failed.
do it? No.
Because people just, I don't know if they're not informed. I can't
How
say
about
this.
Lowell? How, is the recycling successful in Lowell?
Yeah, it's no different.
Yeah.
Beside the price going up, we just voted to go up and stuff like that. But
Sam, his mic just died, just give him that one in the center.
This one died?
No,
No,
Sydney's.
maybe I'm too
Sydney's
loud.
mic's dead.
Oh, your mic is dead. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Let's try another mic.
Sidney, just turn that on its side so I know to change its batteries.
Oh.
They all look the same at the
I got
end
it
of
over
the
here.
show.
There you go.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I'll
Perfect.
put them all in front of me.
Okay.
So,
right.
one of the things with the recycling, I've noticed, when they started the program, there was a wide array of stuff you could recycle, but it seems that over the years, they've removed things from the recycling. You can't recycle certain things that you used to be able,
Right.
excuse me, to recycle. So that's an issue for people.
Well, one of the things you've never been able to recycle, as far as I can remember back, you would probably know more because you've been in town longer than I have, is we have a shed behind the town offices. It's not my shed, it's not his shed, it's the town of Chelmsford's shed, where you can drop off on the first Wednesday of the month your fluorescent bulbs.
Right.
So there's a location for that.
Yeah,
They
that's-
also have hazardous waste day, but that
Yep.
costs money. If you have latex paint, you open the lid on the can. You can add kitty litter to it. There's other stuff that you can buy from Lowe's or Home Depot to add to it that will dry it up, and then you put it out.
If it's solid, they'll take it. right?
Yeah, that's latex. Oil, forget about it. So, and if you're changing the oil on your vehicles, that oil is supposed to, by law, be taken back where you purchased it. So,
Or
used oil.
any place they sell oil. So the state law says if I buy oil from Walmart,
They have to take it back.
I can take it back to AutoZone even though they didn't sell it to me.
Right.
That's state law. They have to take,
Yeah, and that's what Glenn does.
Yeah.
Because with all the vehicles we have, not that we're driving all of them, but we certainly
You just
go
don't
through a lot.
change your oil over the sewer?
I did.
I always thought that was awful.
That's the
I did
Lowell
when I was
way.
a kid. We all did it.
That's the Lowell way.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Lowell.
Yeah.
My father used to dump the used oil in the oil tank and burn it. I mean,
That's when you could.
Yeah, but you put a gallon of used oil into a 300-gallon oil tank. It's like nothing, right? It doesn't cause any problems.
Right, but now we have synthetic oil, it's different.
Yeah, but
So you still have to be careful about what it is you do. And there are companies that will burn used oil.
Well,
If you can find them,
the
you can
service
give it to
stations-
them.
The service stations have oil burners that are built to burn used oil.
Right, but I don't know any of them currently.
Well, Triangle does. They
They still have it?
They heat their place with used oil. Yeah,
That, yeah.
they do.
So anyway, as far as Lowell goes, you have you passed the budget?
Yes,
Okay.
we did.
And
Yes.
what happens if they overrun the line items?
I don't, well,
Do they come back to you
Let
guys?
me guess. Nobody gets fired. Is that a good guess?
yeah, well, nobody's getting fired for
Yeah,
nothing.
okay.
Yeah,
Throw
it's,
that out there.
well,
And of course, then you settled with the fire department, so that was one of your issues when we met the last time.
That
yeah,
was by court order.
that was, that was done. It was quickly resolved.
Smart
but it
move.
was
The
good.
union got smart union over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that that's done, and also my worry after that was just other ordinary employees who, who just got let go quietly, and nobody was fighting for them, and nobody was. And I hope, I do hope that the city manager would think of different ways, I don't know, cut furnitures or office supplies or whatever that may be, and maybe bring some of those community-facing program people, back to the fold, and maybe, I guess it's hard to say that people will just reduce their money or raises, but that didn't happen, and I was thinking that these are some really huge saving money that could be useful in getting some of the position back, and
Sidney, the biggest puzzlement I saw was, I don't know how often you frequent the senior center, but the greeter at the door, Tara, mover and shaker, she does all kinds of stuff, always loaded with
Yeah.
glee. Who do they lay off? Tara.
Yep.
What a bunch of idiots. And you know what's going to happen? Who made the decision? The department head makes the decision. So is it whoever's in charge of the senior center? You stink at your job.
Well, I'm not disagree with you, but
So what happened? Did the city manager talk to all the department heads in the city and say, you have to reduce your budget by X. Is that what happened?
Right. I think that was probably, told to the department head, quite a bit a long time ago, I think. And then they make their way into the the programs or departments and see who's who. But it was a not complete, but some sort of a mess up in a way where there was a lot of employee with seniority that were let go. There was programs that's very important to the community. They were eliminated. But then, there's some other vacant position that's still there and not being filled. So put it this way, it should have been done better and more transparent.
How about those who were tricked into signing paperwork they shouldn't have signed? The separation agreement from the city means I quit my job, I get no bennies, and I understand that.
Right.
Do they read the fine print or just
Well,
forced to
it's
sign paper?
it's not
They
like
were told, sign this and we'll get you 2 extra weeks of pay.
Yeah, that's
So
That's-
what happens if they don't sign it?
They weren't given that alternative.
Well, that's the thing where, let's say an example that, I used to see is that, and I'm not sure this is happening in the city, but they give you this paper and they said, hey, if you agree to this, thing on the paper here, you'll get 2 extra weeks, but if you don't, you're going to go without any extra pay. So, and I feel bad in a way is that most of the time when you go to the HR, you're going with your boss or,
Well, Sidney, when this gets to court and the city of Lowell loses, I hope one of you has the courage enough to ask for the manager's resignation. This was a trick they played on themselves. They eaten their own young.
But I would ask the question, if you had ARPA funds, who was hired under ARPA, and those guys go
Evelyn, if I
first?
tell you to sign a piece of paper,
That's the thing.
I'm not questioning what you said.
No, those people should have been let go
I'm
first,
saying
right?
Right.
a different topic, same topic, a different facet, is that if the city manager used ARPA funds to hire people,
he did.
and it's one-time money,
He did.
those are the people that go first.
Exactly.
No. See, those were people he liked.
I understand that,
And he's
but
keeping
I'm not saying that he did or didn't. I'm
She's just
saying
saying
that's
what should happen.
what should
Right,
have
right.
happened is
Well,
those
what should
are
have
the-
happened is they shouldn't have been hired in the first
Well,
place.
that's true,
Right.
because we know not to use one-time money
You
for
don't-
Yeah.
anything that is going to come up, and that happened in the school department a
That's
lot.
how your sister got the job.
That's happened a lot in the Chelmsford Public Schools when I was on the school committee. We'd get one-time money, and the first thing that I said, or somebody else would, that was on the board, would say, if it's one-time money, we can't do this unless you can prove to me that future budgets will support it.
And you can't do that. So the one-time money should be used for capital stuff, to fix things that are broken. Right?
Another thing that you didn't mention also that these folk that were up through the ARPA fund, their salary was quite higher than than normal, and so therefore when the general fund absorbed this position, they absorb it at a higher rate as well too. So therefore, when you got this chunk of money coming in, and you get all this position without telling them that, hey, you know what, after the program's over, we might let you go, but we'll try to find you a good position someplace, but if not, that's it. But I don't think the message was given to these, employees with
Never mind
ARPA
the
funds.
employees, so now we have all these ARPA funds coming in, and you're sitting on, because you weren't here at the time, but you're sitting on the city council. So you mean to tell me that nobody on the city council said to the city manager, well, Mr. Manager, the proposal is to hire all these people and create these people-based programs with one-time money. When that money goes away, Mr. Manager, how do you propose to keep funding these positions? No one on the city council asked that question?
Sam, it's all about jobs. Most city councilors have relatives who got a job because of their influence.
We don't have,
We don't have that in Chelmsford.
no.
It's-
But we don't know what will
We have it
happen.
in Lowell.
Oh, I know
well,
you do.
yeah,
I know you
we've
do.
talked
And
about
Lowell
this
is
for
now
about
proud
20
to
I know
say-
you do.
Lowell's proud to say we have a higher tax rate than Dragon.
You know, when I asked the first time when I asked for the list of employee who's working inside, and who's living low and who's not, I got a little bit of pushback too and said who's related because it's right on
Did
the
you get-
employment.
Did you get
list.
the list?
I didn't. I got the list, but then I still got additional 30 days to get the management list because I got two versions of it. One is like all the employees, and give me a breakdown of who's in Lowell, who's not. But
Was this a motion that you filed?
yes.
Okay, all right.
So it's I had this weird inkling feeling because I used to be an HR assistant, so therefore this information should have gotten to me or to the council a long time ago, but it's still getting delayed. But whether delayed or not, it should be coming forth. But I'm not going to be surprised about it. But I got a little bit of pushback where, why do you want this and why do you want that? I just want to see the taxpayers' money. Who are they paying? Because we're paying big chunk of money to some folks that coming from out of town. They come in with big chunk of money and then go back and then, put this money to use in their towns and whatnot. And we got these tax increases and then we keep paying. The money's not staying in Lowell.
So in the town of Chelmsford, we publish an annual town report.
Mhm.
And in that town report, every single town and school employee
is listed.
is listed with their title and their salary, and if they get overtime, that's listed as well. That information is totally public. You don't have to ask for it. It's in the town
Where do they live,
report.
Sam?
That information is not in the town
Well,
report.
see, the zip code of residence should be in there.
They could put a zip code in,
So,
and then they're not
or they could
as
just put the city.
liable.
I'm not sure. I think there might be some legal issues with
Yeah,
that.
with the
but-
privacy.
But the point I'm trying to make is that we make sure that the citizens can see easily, just by picking up a copy of the town
Yeah.
report, they can see every single person in town who is on the
I
town
want to know where they
payroll.
live, Sam.
Yeah.
Because in Lowell, where are all the Cambodians in City Hall? Where are they?
Mhm.
We have two colleges in town, and most of the Cambodians have gone to one or the other, sometimes both. We have some smart Cambodians here, smart Puerto Ricans, smart Portuguese.
It would be
Where are they at
interesting-
City Hall?
It would be interesting to have that information. I think, unfortunately, and this is a different subject altogether, but for some of those jobs, I think a lot of the people probably wouldn't be able to afford to live in Chelmsford. So that would be an issue for us. I mean, a teacher starting out, for example,
Doesn't
probably
make- yeah.
doesn't make enough money
No.
to be able to live in Chelmsford.
Yeah, but Sam, when you have a daughter who wants to be a teacher in Chelmsford, and she got rejected, and you see that there's a teacher working there who lives in Barica, she should have been hired before the Barica person.
Oh, I don't
Question
know.
from the audience, Sidney, is how many got laid off from the city? And you can't know everything.
Right.
But the guy called me up, wants to know how many got laid off from the city side, how many got laid off from the school side? And if you can put any numbers on that?
No, I don't. I don't have the number for you. That's what I was asking the HR director to revise the position of the list of employee who got let go and also the total list, the current list right now. So I don't have, I know,
I talked to the mayor was here yesterday,
right?
and my memory of this is my memory. Eric said 40 people got laid off.
40 from the
But
city.
In total?
of that 40,
Mm-hmm.
only 30 physically worked for the city. The other 10 were slots that were not filled.
It could be right around 30. I mean, or higher end of 20. Just because there's a lot of movement in between right now with the request from the council to ask for some position to be put back. So I'm assuming the city manager is working on it to see maybe if somebody could be, come back or should not. I don't know, but right now it's a really
Well, the only way you can do
Fluid
it, Sidney,
situation.
really is to tell the city manager there's a hiring freeze. when someone retires, prove to me we really need that position. I don't care if it's the guy who shovels the snow or the guy who's just pushes a pencil all day long.
That's called zero-based budgeting, and that should be the standard, but it is not. I don't know of a single municipality in the state that uses a zero-based budgeting model. They should all be using it, but they don't. Okay? You should have to, when your budget comes up every year, this is how zero-based budgeting works, okay? I've got a department, I've got 10 people. Manager comes to me and says, okay, give me a budget for next year, you got 10 people. I have to go back and justify every one of those positions. And if I can't justify it, it doesn't get funded. I also have to provide a narrative that says, what happens to my services if I don't hire all these people? But that's too much work, it's too complicated, it's too transparent, so that model.
Yeah, but
I used to argue with Bernie Lynch
Well,
about
no,
that.
no,
all
I
the
mean,
time.
look,
We need to do zero-based budgeting, and he'd say,
I've
never
been
happened,
working
never
like
happened.
that for over 30 years.
Yeah,
I've been
never
doing
happened.
that kind of budgeting for over 30 years. So it surprised me when I
Yeah.
see, for example,
But not in government.
yeah, and again, the one that I keep was asking was
Right.
professional services. I asked, and Mr. Baldwin said,
What
well,
does that mean?
well, that's it. And then it was surprised to me that professional services mean differently
Yeah.
in different departments.
What
Right.
does that mean?
So
We talked
I-
about that last time. didn't
Right,
we?
I used to have for over 30 years the budgeting process. You submitting in the staff, the supply line item, the overhead cost, the
Yep.
indirect, all these information should be itemized
Absolutely.
and explained clearly. It doesn't have to be
Absolutely.
like 10 paragraphs
Nope.
long, just a line or two line what it's all about. If you have a big line item budget, you have to give me the cost of each line item and add it, total it up. But that's not the case. You gave me, for example, professional services at $230,000, and you want me to vote yes on it. I can't do that.
I get
And
it.
sometime when it frustrates me when I keep seeing from one department to the next, but there's no explanation on it. I can't sit there all night and say, Department A, what is this? Professional services. Department B, what is this? Professional services. And it should be self-explanatory.
Cindy, you're 100% right. When I saw the city clerk bumble on the answer, and he tossed the ball to Connor Baldwin, I knew right then and well, we have a lot of department heads that just don't know math. Sam, you want to read this one?
I would just like to ask Councilor Liang if there is a meaning behind the scarf he wears, because I've noticed a lot of Cambodian men and women with similar scarves in different colors. And I was just wondering if there's a cultural meaning behind it. That's a good question. Can you answer that?
Yeah.
That's very attractive, by
So
the way.
in
I like that.
today's world, it's more also of identity. In the old days, this little scarf means a lot to the more like the rural, the farmers or the people in the countryside a lot, because it has so many way of helping the person who's, for example, if you need to go, let's say, you go jump into a stream or river, you cover yourself, right? And then you go in. If you need to carry something over your head, you just fold it this way and you put it on your head and then you carry on top, right? And
As a cushion.
Right, yeah. If you are hot, you can put it all over your head. And, if you're going to, for example, like the cultural event, traditional event, you use different color, but it's the same way. So, so basically you wear this at different occasion. Now, this embroidery, it's,
What does it say?
well, this is Angkor Wat. It just means, the Angkor Temple. So it could be anything. You can actually do it and have a City of Lowell logo on it, as well too. You just request. It's cheap, but at the same time, it's more cultural, more identity. But there's a lot of usage for this, and it's been used.
So it
for-
doesn't represent a political party.
No.
And it doesn't,
no.
or a social standing?
Just a lot of,
No.
there's a lot of practical reasons for
Right,
for
more
having it.
more for practical
Right,
reason,
right.
and usually this is
Very
a
interesting.
lot of people in the city don't wear use this, and sometimes I see this for people who in the city wear this kind of thing. Nowadays a little bit different, but especially when I come, to the U.S. and things like that. In Cambodia, you don't see it. People use this, especially when you're in the city, because of course, this is not something that a lot of rich people wear. Okay, because for many reasons, but this is more of a identity. But for a lot of the folks who's in the countryside, this is their daily protection, their daily identification, their daily, support of what they do. Because this, and when you go to Cambodia, a lot of men just wear this around their waist.
Like a sash.
Yeah. Yeah, they do
Now,
that.
what about
especially in
women?
the
Do
evening.
women wear these too?
Women usually they put it around their neck like this, and sometimes they just cover their face because of how Cambodia's out. They do that, and when they go to the harvesting season, right? So in the harvesting season, what they do is just they unfold everything and they do like that, and then they cover it because it's so hot. So they cover like that, and then they be out in the field. All day long. They can, so it has many usages. More like what Sam said, it's like practical meaning of it.
Is there a color designation, or is it a
No,
personal choice?
No, it's just more like a personal choice. I know.
So you can have one for every outfit, different
Right,
colors.
right.
There
You
you
can
go.
have
Mix
that
and match.
mix and match, and
Yeah.
different occasion. If you go into the temple, normally you don't use very colorful. You normally use white.
Are you supposed to cover your head when you go in the temple? Is that a
It
requirement?
depends. But you don't wear hat in the temple.
Oh, okay, all right.
You don't, you must, take off your hat in the temple or a sacred place.
And your shoes.
Your shoes, but at time you got to make sure you're safe. Your health is not
Make
compromised.
sure you haven't got any holes in your socks.
Yeah. But mostly when you go in the temple,
No,
it's
it's a
very
sign of
safe.
respect, and that's
Yeah,
what you do.
yeah. I mean, the
It's
same
like I
way.
get a kick out of people who will, when they go into a service, they don't respect the religious part of the family. They're looking, buddy, if you're not gonna sit down when they sit down, you gotta go stand in the other room. It's disrespectful. They
Yeah.
just don't get that.
The thing is that sometimes I got inspectors who come into my house and take off your shoes. If I don't wear my shoes to go upstairs, why are you wearing your shoes and walk up to my house? So, because I walk around with no shoes, and sometimes you have, let's say, the Verizon people, the National Grid people come in, they think that they own my house.
With the work boots.
Yeah, they work booth
With all
and
the
walk
mud
through
and
all
everything
these
else, right.
religious
Well, it
places.
isn't just that. Now, all three of my children, because of what they were taught, take their shoes off when they come in their house. The kids do everything. They got slippers there. Has nothing to do with religion.
Right.
Has to do with hygiene. Because you're walking around, people spit on the ground, there's stuff falling from the air, there's all kinds of stuff
Good point.
that's out there, and whatever dirt it is, you bring it in on the bottom of your shoes. So if you want cleaner carpets and floors, you take your shoes off when you come in, and you can tell that
I always do.
as you go. Some people don't, and it's dependent upon what everybody is comfortable with, but it also depends on how you were brought up.
I just like wearing the slippers. It's more comfortable.
Well, I remember when you turned either 60 or 70, we
60.
had a huge birthday party for
my
Sam,
wife.
and she said, give him slippers.
We had.
Everybody gave him a pair of slippers.
We must have had 50 people there, at least.
Wow.
And everybody brought a pair of slippers as a present. So I took all those slippers and I put them in a big container up in the attic, and I said, I will never have to buy, because I wear them all the time, so I go through them pretty quickly. I said, I will never have to buy another pair of slippers. Well, I am 79, so that was 19 years ago, and I am down to my last 6 pair, okay?
Wow.
I still have 6 pair that I haven't used, so I figure that'll last me another 5 or 6 years. And then I'm gonna, at age 85, I'm gonna have to go out and buy a pair
Well,
of
at
slippers.
least you can wear slippers. I'm very self-conscious during the Cambodian the Khmer Rouge. I busted my toenail.
Oh.
So every time I wear slipper, I got this self-conscious. I can't do it.
I get it.
Right?
I
Because I
Bad
can
memory.
never slip. It's bad memory.
Bad
And the same thing, like I got stuck in a barbed wire right here. And so it's like one of those times in a long time ago when you were, there's a lot of stuff that gone through your life, but, slippers, I can't. I wanted to wear so much, but I can't do it.
It's an association. So let me ask you, and I should know this, what percentage of residents in Lowell are Cambodian? Do you know?
I would say 23, 24%.
It's that high?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a high number. So you're talking roughly 100,000 people. So
Sidney, can you
yeah, that's a lot of people.
cite some of the terrible things you had to live through before you moved
Before
to America?
breakfast.
Before you moved to America.
Yeah, what'd you have for breakfast?
Yeah. Okay. Well, throughout my campaign, I
Because
never.
people don't appreciate this country like this.
I know.
they
I
don't
never.
know that.
I never used my struggles. During my campaign, nobody know what I went through.
Well,
So,
brag
for the
a
TV
little bit.
for the TV show.
Okay,
so
but now you've been asked the question, so you
Okay.
can answer it. Right.
yeah. So a little story of me. Right. So I was born in Cambodia in 1970. Right. So I went through the Khmer Rouge. We were in the countryside. So my mom did not know how to read or write. But my dad went to, through the education system and being a monk and whatnot, because being monkhood was mostly for men, and that's how he got education. And my uncle, he went through, different system, which is more of a French system during the education time that way.
Yeah.
So, but so when everything else collided in 1975, we were in a camp, right? So it's not like a summer camp. It's a refugee
Well,
camp.
tell us about the
was-
collision.
So
Everything-
you were
what-
You were 5 years old. And
What-
I was
what
5.
happened?
Yeah, I was 5 or
To the
6
best
years
of your
old.
memory,
Yeah.
what are some of the ingredients in the collision you're talking about?
So I still to this day can see the stuff that I wrote where my brother and my father died on that same day in November 1976. I could see this bamboo bed, with my dad's here, my brothers there covered in white sheet, in November, and where my sister was maybe 6 months old. I still could see that. The one thing that I don't remember is I don't remember my dad's face. I don't know what he looks like. I have no idea, but
What took your father's life?
Well, he was a soldier also, but at the same time, starvation took, and so what guilt me to this day is that, a lot of people don't know, but for us, let's say survivors, I walk around with guilt because I survived and there was a lot of food in front of me.
That's right.
So I see that. I might not talk about it. I might not, look at it, differently. And at the same time, you see these bloated persons in front of you with no food, but they're bloated, right? So both my dad and my brother died that same day.
From starvation?
The starvation. So you have food and everything else. It's trigger you back, but you can't talk about it. You have no idea. You know what hungry is all about. But at the same time, during that time, they split you. They don't let you stay with the family when you're 6 years old. You in this little, brainwash camp.
Children's camp.
Yeah, the children's camp. They in the morning you wake up and they send you to pick up grass or pick up some fertilizers and everything else, and you come back, and then you get to go to your house once in a while and do that. While my mom went out and worked, in the field, the system, whatever. So through a lot of the stuff happened, and at the same time, you just gone through it, and a lot of people actually gone through it. That's why I don't talk about it. Where 17 of my family members, died, and some of them died because he got hung from a tree because he was educated, because they kill all the educated people, the educator,
The
the
government
teacher.
killed the government.
Yeah, they burn all the books, which is not a story that that I've seen it. I went through it. I walk over dead people. I just move dead people around so that we can walk forward. I've seen that. I woke up my mother, my grandma, in 1976, 77 for dinner, and she's been dead, for a day or so in a house, and me was like 7 or so years old. So I can see this thing that happened.
Did you know it was the government, or did you think it was a natural thing?
Well, no, it's basically most of the time people in my area was die of starvation or diseases.
But did you know that the government was causing the starvation?
At
Well,
7, you were 7.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's more like what's going on. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. But it's not one of those things that you blame the government for. It's like something's happening and you just move along. And one of my location where this did not happen, where the killing was so bad, they dug this hole. They were going to push people into that hole and then just squish them. It didn't happen that way, but throughout my life, especially during the Khmer Rouge between 75 to 79, I've seen, so many dead people that I don't cry anymore. I don't even know how to cry because, what is it? Because this is just normal. You've seen all this.
Yeah, you get conditioned to it.
Right. So you open this gate, so I normally don't talk about it. It's just like the way of life for many people who've gone through many things differently.
To John's point, people that have always lived in this country, they have absolutely no clue what people in other parts of the world have had to go through and still have to go through. So let me ask you, when did you come to this country and how did you get here? What brought you here?
So in the old days, a lot of Cambodian came here through sponsorship, churches.
Okay.
I think we came through the Trinity. I was supposed to go to Arkansas. I have no idea. I did not get to Arkansas because my aunt came here. So my aunt came 6 months before me, and in 1983 in December, I came from the Philippines, and then landed in New York in the middle of the night.
So what 13 years old, roughly.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So basically, we went from Cambodia through the middle of the night, through bomb, through, dead people, everything else we went through in the middle of the night. We get to some camps. So what happened is that when you travel at night. You don't travel in the daytime. In the daytime, you sleep. And I tell you one more thing about survival is that, the rice that you cook, what we used to do is that we cook rice, right? And you have this kind of scarf, and you dry up the rice. Your rice that you have every day, you just dry it up in the middle of the sun. And some scarf like this, you roll it up and you just put rice on top of it, and then you fold it, right? You fold the rice and then you put, around your waist, just tie it up like that. So what happened is that every time you get hungry, you just take a palms of rice, put a little water, and then you eat it. Because why? Because you can't cook rice in the middle of the day or the middle of the night where the smoke can be seen by either the Khmer Rouge, the
Do
government,
you mean to
or
tell
the
me
Thai.
there was no McDonald's?
No, actually, the Burger King in there, someplace in the. No, actually, yeah. So
No, it was very hard times for you guys, and that's why I like, we have a guest like you on the show, like Dominic Lay, when he would come, he told us a lot of stuff that happened. Paul Rathayem saying he'd tell us some of the terrible things that he lived through, and I think it's important for the community to realize what you lived through before you found out, hey, if I can go, I'm going to go to America. It's supposed to be better than here.
yeah, sometime, I wanted you just to be treated equally. I don't want people to use, my background or feel bad for me. If I'm not qualified for that job,
I'm
don't
not saying
work
that.
for me.
I'm
No.
talking
Just this is
respect.
how I'm
Right
feeling
there with
when
you.
when I'm out there.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people say, "Oh, did he qualify for the job?" Hell, if I don't qualify for the job, I wouldn't be applying for that job. That's why when I get angry when people ask those kind of things, because from your question, you think I'm beneath you. I have more experience. I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of heartache and pain. I got here, and I can still stand in front of you. I can still, help myself. I can still help the community. I can still help you. So just treat me as one of those person that equal to you with knowledge and everything else. Forget my background of my sorrow, my haunted life, or whatever that happened. But I can do the work just like anybody else.
Well, like
so treat me that way.
if you watched the movie about J.D. Vance, J.D. Vance grew up in a single-parent family,
Appalachia.
brought up by his grandmother, and where the magical F word was used commonly in the household every single day. And now he's the Vice President of the United States. So if you do come across J.D. Vance's movie, it's a very important watch.
Read his book, too. Same thing. I read the book. I haven't seen the movie. The
And
movie's
there's-
good?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those stories that are out there, regardless of ethnic background or culture, because this country is relatively new in comparison to most of the countries on the globe. And as you take a look, even the millionaires and the billionaires of those that got established, many of them did not have inherited wealth. They had nothing.
Right.
And they worked very hard in order to get it. Then as you follow that family, when that individual died, because the children were not trained or brought up in a similar fashion, then when they inherited that money, generally, you had many of them fail because they were entitled, they spent it all, and then there was nothing left.
There's an old saying that covers that. Shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Okay? Which is what you just
Which
said.
make no sense to me.
Well,
Well,
I'll
yeah,
explain it.
Napkins to
I
napkins.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
Shirt sleeves means you were poor, you worked hard, like Evelyn said, you got your wealth, you passed it on to your kids who didn't work hard, and they blew it, and then their kids are poor. So shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. That's what
It
that
is an
means.
interesting
You
concept.
never heard that? You never heard that phrase?
Anyway, just as an
Yeah.
just as an aside, is that if you're heading Route 3 south,
Yeah.
be aware that there was a huge accident, and
Just now?
I would assume about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So that's Route 3 south in Chelmsford,
That's
because
a
my son
nightmare.
hit it, not hit literally, but
Route 3 is
ended up in the traffic.
Hey, tomorrow
going
City
to
Life
work.
are going to have Cliff Krieger's going to be the host. Eileen Del Rossi's going to be here. Charlene Frischman's going to be here, and Regina Fatacanti. Time is short, Ev.
So Monday night at the select board meeting in Chelmsford, we had the Arts and Technology Education Awards for the 26-27 academic year. We also will be you can take a look at that if you want to. I can go through it later because we're going to run out of time. And then the ATEF will also have awards in the fall. Applications will become available to the Chelmsford staff that are monitoring clubs. So we're expanding what it is that we're doing. So everybody take a look at that if you know anybody that is a club advisor in the secondary level in the Chelmsford Public Schools. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you for having
Very
me.
informative.
Always good to have.
Thank you very much for sharing your background. I know that you want to, like a lot of people, want to stand on what they can achieve and not what they can make people feel sorry for. And to be used for. And thanks, Sam, for getting up
You're
extra special early, and also to John and everybody. Stay safe out there, considering what it is that my son pretty much every day talks about on 495. I don't, and that it's really crazy how people
But it's
drive.
a beautiful day.
But it's a beautiful
nice
day.
and-
Enjoy the weather.
This is a southbound issue that everyone's talking about right here.
How these people get driver's licenses is beyond me.
Have a good day. Thanks for waiting. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.